You're a natural bodybuilder, you want to build your chest, well this video is for you. I'll tell you guys all my tips and tricks that help me build up my chest. Chest is the muscles that I get complimented on the most, and no, it's not just about my genetics. I had to try many training styles, many training methods to come up with what works and what doesn't work. As a natural lifter, it's very important that you understand you cannot train like someone that is enhanced. Someone that is enhanced might get away by sitting on a machine, getting a good chest pump, getting some flies and doing a lot of reps, getting a good pump, and still growing thanks to all the PEDs they're taking. But for you, you gotta make sure that your training style is optimized, all right? Make sure also that your recovery and your diet is optimized. So let's jump straight into it. This is my cat. If you guys are new to this channel, well, I'm Sharif, natural bodybuilder, been training for over 13 years. And this is my cat, 100% natural for my cat as well. All right, well, that's how we do things over here. So let's jump straight into it. Tip number one, I want you to focus on the compound lifts. Prioritize the compound lifts. So which means your incline presses, dumbbell or barbell, your flat, your bench press, flat bench press, dumbbell or barbell, your dips, your push-ups. Those are the ones that will give you the most bang for your buck as a natural. All right, and we're not just talking about the stimulation. You might feel your chest better on a chest press machine, but it's not just about the feel. All right, the compound lifts will affect your body positively, and not just about stimulating your chest, but also how they impact your hormones, your testosterone level, your growth hormone. Your whole nervous system is it's mobilized when you're doing that bench press and you're kind of pushing, and you either push that bar up or it falls on you. All right, there's something going on because all your body is mobilized for that lift. Your body loves working as a whole, and the benefits of it are greater than just sitting on a machine and just pressing. It's easier also sitting on a machine. Think about it. Why do we want to make things easier? All right, might feel better for your chest. You might get a better pump, but that's not just our focus. As natural lifters, we want to make sure that we're optimizing our training, and compound lifts are great. All right, they're really a big focus, and they have to be the priority of your workouts. So I'm not saying avoid machines, but make sure that you're focusing mostly on your compounds. And that goes for everything, not just for this, the chest, all right? For your back, your legs, for any muscle group you're working, make sure your compounds are the main focus as a natural lifter, all right? So the tip of the iceberg is basically how you're feeling, the pump, getting that chest to failure, but the real iceberg is really the impacts that that lift has on your whole system and your hormones. All right, so that was tip number one, the compound lifts. Super important, super important. Tip number two, don't focus on the weight. A lot of people want to bench 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, and that's their main focus. They want to incline press the hundreds 20 to impress everyone, but that's not the main focus. Because let's go back to the stimulation. Well, we want to make sure that we're lifting weights with our chest. We don't want to just lift the bench press and compensate and lift it up for our shoulders, our traps, our triceps. What is good gonna come out of it? All right, yeah, we might impress everyone at the gym, but if the focus that you have is just lifting heavier weights, your chest will reach a plateau super fast. All right, you gotta keep that focus on your chest. You gotta make sure that you're always performing proper technique, and your rep range has to be between 8 and 15 reps. All right, so don't really focus on those PRs or 3 rep PR or going super heavy, because it's gonna increase your risk of injury, and it's not gonna lead to any hypertrophy gain. Maybe in the short term, because when you're starting, whatever you do, you will get gains, but you will reach a plateau super fast, and it's not the best way of training if your goal is building muscle mass. All right, so make sure you're not really focusing on the weight, but focus rather on the muscle you're using. Focus on the form, on the technique, and go for 8 to 15 rep range. Number 3, the tempo of your training. When you're benching, you don't want to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and going super fast. Slow down the exercises. Make sure that you're slowing it down on the reps. Make sure you're not going super fast, and make sure that you're controlling the way down. Super important. The way up is as important as the way down. I go down with my chest as well. I go up with my chest and I go down with my chest. I go up with my chest and I go down with my chest. So as I'm doing 10 reps, well, I'm working that chest 20 times, as opposed to someone that is just dropping the weight down for 10 reps. All right, so think about that. It's about the tension your muscle get, the time under tension. Your muscles contract under tension, and it's not just about a rep, but slow down the tempo. Make sure that you're controlling your weight down. All right, moving on. Tip number 4, your split. It's very important that you have the optimal split for you. Let's say you're doing a push-pull legs or a bro split. Well, you will have different results over the long term. If you're doing a full body workout and you're doing 2 sets of chest because you gotta hit every single other body part of your every other muscles on that workout, you will not give your chest enough volume. So if you're someone that really want to optimize your chest gains, make sure that your split makes sense, all right? So I'm not a big fan of a push-pull legs if your goal is bringing up your chest, because you'll be hitting your chest and your shoulders and triceps on the same day. That's a little bit too much. So I would rather you doing something like a chest and triceps, for example, where the main focus is on your chest. And after you hit your chest pretty good, well, to be honest, you won't have enough energy or juice in you anymore to do more shoulders or triceps. You might do a couple sets of triceps, but you'll be pretty much done for the day. Chest is a big muscle. All right, so not a big fan of push-pull legs if you want to bring, unless your chest and shoulders are very overdeveloped. But if you really want to bring up that chest, make sure you give it a day on its own. You can do a bit of triceps to finish off, but don't do an upper body, lower body, push-pull legs or a full body workout. That's just my tip, all right? Now, a lot of people can get away with a push-pull legs if, let's say, their shoulders are super developed and they just do a few sets of shoulders. All right, so that's very important. Another tip, guys, that works pretty good for me is pre-exhausting my chest. Pre-exhausting basically is fatiguing my chest before heading to the big lifts, all right? Now, that might sound a bit counterproductive for you because you're like, well, you just said we gotta focus on the compound lifts, and if I'm fatiguing my chest before the compound lifts, I'm not gonna be able to push heavier weights. Well, the weights don't really matter, and pre-exhaustion, it could be an isolation exercise before starting your presses. So you can start with flies, getting a bit that chest activation, turn on those muscle fibers on, and then go on your presses. Yeah, you will not press as much, but you will feel your chest a lot better, and you will get a lot more results because you're activating more chest muscle fibers. All right, so you're kind of turning on that mind muscle connection. You're turning on that chest before going on your bench press. And press is something that I really do often. I would start my chest workouts with a lot of flies, kind of turning on that muscle. And once I'm at my bench press, my chest is already tired, so it fails at the same time of my shoulders and triceps, because a lot of times you fail on the bench press, but it's your shoulders and triceps that get tired. But by pre-exhausting your chest, by fatiguing it a bit already, well, now you're feeling all at the same time when you're doing your presses, and you're just feeling your chest a lot more, and you don't need to use as much weight. So this is something that I really love to incorporate on every single body part as well, not necessarily for the chest, but it works pretty well for the chest, all right? Because a lot of times we can all press heavy weights, but it can lead to high risk of injury. And sometimes lowering the weight and getting your chest to failure in another way with pre-exhaustion technique can really be helpful. Moving on, don't neglect the push-ups, the body weight exercises, push-ups, dips. A lot of people neglect them and they think that they can't grow from push-ups just because it's a body weight exercise. But that is very, very false, all right? The push-up is really my favorite chest exercise. The push-up is something that everyone has to master, and if you're doing it correctly, trust me, you will feel your chest very well. Now you might tell me, I can do 100 of push-up. Well, then incorporate it as a superset. So as soon as you stop your bench press, go down on the floor and do push-ups to failure. That's what I do. I get my push-ups to failure and I would add them as a superset in an additive add-on on my presses, on my flies. I would just finish up with push-ups, and because it's a body weight exercise, it's not very stressful on your nervous system, so you can go to failure on it. So do a lot of push-ups on your chest exercises or dips. I usually finish with them. So also sometimes, like today, I did a chest workout and I was pretty done at the end of my chest workout, and I'm like, you know what, I want to do 10 sets of push-ups to failure just to test myself. And I was doing maybe 10 reps at the first few sets, and then I was just able to do 5 reps, but my chest was on fire and it felt so good. And it's a way to kind of go and get all those little muscle fibers that were a little bit resistant and get them to failure, get a good pump, and leave the gym. So I like finishing with my push-up. You can start with it, pre-exhaust your presses before your presses with some push-ups. You can do it as a superset. There's so many ways, but don't neglect them. Push-ups are really powerful, and in my opinion, they're the best chest exercise. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. There's many other tips. Just wanted to give you guys a few. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for being present. If you need coaching, go on my website. If you need diet tips, training tips, if you want some merch, natural sculpted, that's the brand of my t-shirts, well, go on my website, sharifsaad.com. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.